Okay, today I'm going to explain how I started working out and my journey from that time. I started lifting, I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I wanted to put weight on for football. Now, back then, coaches, almost all of them, were telling you not to lift weights. They thought it would make you big and bulky and clumsy. I had a couple of friends, luckily, that went to another high school, and their coach was way ahead of everybody else. And he was telling his players to lift weights. So the only thing I knew was I was supposed to do 4 sets of 5. Now, back then, we had no internet, very few magazines, and if there were magazines, they were mainly bodybuilding magazines. But I figured out a workout, and I was working out 4 days a week, doing the exact same workout all 4 days. I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And in 6 months, I put 30 pounds on. I went from a skinny 120 to a little bit better 150. The problem was, the next 2 years, I only put 6 more pounds on because I was overtraining and didn't know anything about overtraining. And so I did the 4 days a week for a very long time, but somewhere in my 20s, I heard of this thing called split routine. So I split my routine up. I'd do upper body one day, lower body the next, but I'd still work out 4 days a week, and I was still doing 4 sets of 5. And then I realized, hey, you know what? I don't have to stick with 4 sets of 5. There are all kinds of other combinations you can do. So it was basically, with me, it was all trial and error. And believe me, it was a lot of error. Thankfully, I never got hurt really bad, but I did have to have a tricep tendon reattached, but that's when I was older. But anyway, I just kept working out, and I loved it. And I started shoeing horses. I was a farrier, the guy that puts the shoes on the horses. I started doing that in my early 20s, and it's a really tough job, and it's very tough on the back. So later on in my 20s, I had to stop. First, I had to stop deadlifting, and then I had to stop squatting. So I concentrated more on upper body, and I was competing in the bench press only back then. I was a better than average bench presser, but I wasn't anything special. The best bench I ever did was 360 in the gym. I did 350 in a competition. But I was just another guy that showed up. Then my shoulders started getting really bad from banging on the anvil all day. Boom, boom, boom. And so I had to stop doing that. But I was still working out. And so anyway, when I moved to Florida, when I was up in Jersey, I had a little leg raise machine to work my legs. But it was nothing great, and it wasn't good enough to come down, to bring down to Florida, so I didn't. So I got down here, and I thought, well, I got to do something to work my legs. So I did have squat racks. So I put on 135 pounds, did 2 or 3 sets of squats. Naturally, they were nice and easy, but I threw my back out. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. And then I remember I had read someplace that sumo deadlifts work the legs pretty good. So I started doing that. I found a stance that was perfect for me. It felt natural. It's a little wider stance than conventional deadlifts. And so I started doing it. I started with 135 pounds and would go up 5 or 10 pounds a week. And then I got up to where I was doing 225 pounds. That's 2 45s on each side. Then I got up to where I had 3 45s on each side, which was 315. And then my next goal was to get up to 4 plates on each side, which is 450 pounds. Well, I was going pretty good. And then I got up to 385. And I kind of got stuck there. And I'm thinking, oh man, I guess I'm not going to ever get to deadlift 400 pounds. And then I found a video on YouTube, and there was a guy doing 385 pounds, around the same age as me, and he did it for a set of 5. And I'm thinking, if he can do it, I can do it. So I just made up my mind that I was going to get to deadlift over 400 pounds. And I did. The next thing I know, I've got 4 plates on there, and I'm doing 405, and then I'm doing more, and then I'm doing more. And back then we had a magazine called Powerlifting USA. So I started looking at meet results, and I thought, you know what? I can be competitive. So I had my first meet in 2011. I did 425. I did 440, but halfway through the lift, the bar went down just a little bit, and then I continued to lift, and that's illegal in powerlifting federations. So anyway, I settled for 425. And then, like I said, I kept it up. But the point I'm trying to make is I made up my mind I was going to do the 405, and I did. And then I kept going. And like I said, after Larry died, my friend, I made it my mission to keep my promise to him and show people that I could get stronger, and I did. And that's when I started really going good until I started having the heart issues. But I've always lifted pretty much my whole life. And you know, it's funny because I used to wonder what age would I decide that I needed to stop lifting. And now I know the answer. Never. I'm going to lift weights and work out to the day I die. And I'm trying to help people understand that that's what you need to do. You know, like I said, you don't have to go get crazy like I do and try to lift as much as you can. But you need to do some kind of strength training and have a better quality of life for the rest of your life. I hope this helped. I kind of had fun doing it, so thanks.